Hello Paul and Vance, my name is Chen and my partner name is Chen. Today we will be discussing on the topic about Volkswagen. Firstly, I will introduce the background of Volkswagen Company and emphasize the cultural differences between China and Australia. And Chen will explain the next two parts, blend into local market and promotion campaign. After that, I will be talking about their supply chain and what challenges they have and their innovation. In the end, I will discussing on the conclusion part. Okay, let's start. Volkswagen Group is a multinational automaker founded in 1937. It basically manufactures, designs, distributes commercial and passenger vehicles including engines, turbo machinery, and motorcycles. It also offers automotive-related services, such as leasing, financing, and fleet management. Volkswagen is a very successful company with one of the largest market share in regions such as Europe and Asia. It was the largest automaker company in 2016 with sales of more than 10 million units and was ranked among the Fortune's 500 largest companies worldwide. However, Australian Volkswagen Company ceased manufacturing in 1976 and only imports cars to the country. Next part, cultural differences between China and Australia. The major influential factors that affect the decision of the automotive industry include consumer preferences, which determine the vehicle performance standard and reliability. Conversely, environmental regulations, government trade, and incentives for modernization, as well as changes in the design and production. All automakers are pressurized by the need to identify national bases, consumer preferences, and the new market segments where they can sell their vehicles and gain substantial market share. With respect to consumer preferences, Chinese consumers differ from Australian customers in many ways. Most automakers have been witnessing sales growth, particularly in developing nations in India, South America, Eastern Europe, and China. In China, the growth in market is particularly attributed its population size, government tax structures, social characteristics, and improving income levels. However, in the Australian market, where most households have multiple vehicles, consumers are more concerned with safety-specific rules performed by a vehicle and automobile features. Recently, governments have also been concerned with environmental damage from vehicles, and therefore they have come up with laws, regulations on fuel economy and tailpipe emissions. Australia has stricter environmental regulations and laws governing its automotive industry when compared to China. On the other hand, China did not take a stricter stance on the issue of the emission scandal. In addition, technology is another determining factor for most automotive organizations. Basically, the changing consumer preferences for more reliable and performing vehicles has been what drives the auto industry. Furthermore, factors such as the need to lower costs have recently been the reason why automakers move and build plants in a region. In particular, China presents the best option for Volkswagen, especially because its production costs are lower than in Australia and the population presents a promising potential market. And next, I will pass to Chen to describe next two parts.
Thank you, Shai. That was great and extraordinary speech that you made. So let us move to the next stage. In this part, I would introduce to you specifically about the international business strategy, cross-cultural techniques that the the Volkswagen used in the Chinese market. You know, instead of doing the traditional way to exporting a small portion of the commercial vehicles into the China market, the Volkswagens try to do something like the bridge the gap between the Western countries and with the companies and the Chinese government by constructing the business network, as well as the establishing the joint venture with state-owned companies in China. So by doing something like, the consequence was much delightful, that which brought the benefit to the both parties, and the Volkswagen did achieve a large quantity of the market shares, the orders from the central government as well as the state-owned companies. For instance, long before the competitors enter into the Chinese market, the Volkswagen had already taken the majority market shares, such as the official vehicles, the commercial vehicles, to provide the supplies for the central government as well as state-owned companies. And moreover, in order to adapt into the local market, the Volkswagen also changed the name from the Volkswagen into the Daozhong, which also represented the people or the whole communities in the Chinese language. And the Daozhong also link or just match with the Chinese traditional values such as collectivism. And besides, in order to adapt into the new trends, the Volkswagen also employ the strength of the social media. They establish the official social media account in the WeChat as well as the Weibo to attract the young families, the existing and potential the customers, the booming middle class levels, and to improve the brand awareness. So in the following part, the Sean will introduce something about the Volkswagen global supply chain, which which is affected by the both Chinese and the Australia markets, and some improvements for the Volkswagens. Thank you.
Thanks, Chen. Now I will describe on their supply chain. China is one of the largest automobile markets with a domestic production of up to 5 million vehicles in 2010, excluding motorcycles. It has over 120 complete vehicle manufacturers, 1,800 component and auto part enterprises, 780 special purpose and refitted vehicle manufacturers, and 150 joint ventures. The company's procurement is fully integrated in such a way that its suppliers meet a traditional parities of delivery time, price, and quality. In China, the Volkswagen Group has 16 subsidiaries under its Volkswagen China division, with First Automobile Works and Shanghai Automotive Industry Corporation being the two major partner companies. Apart from production and selling to the Chinese market, China plays a critical role in the Volkswagen Go South strategy, since its facility acts as the main distribution point of product to the nearby market, including Australia. In Australia, the Volkswagen Group, which is fully owned by the parent company in Germany, imports, assembles, and distributes commercial, passenger, and Skoda passenger vehicles, so various wholesalers to the Australian market. Its headquarters is at New South Wales, with a facility that employs about 200 people. The parent company in Germany supplies engines and software for installation at the subsidiary assembly plant in Australia. Next, Volkswagen's challenges and innovation. The major challenges facing Volkswagen in Australia are the emission scandal and the pressure from the external market. On September 2015, there was a news from the US Environmental Protection Agency that Volkswagen had cunningly installed the defeat device software into their diesel models. This device was aimed at detecting when an emission test was being carried out and subsequently out emissions for better compliance. The scandal had effects to the company's profitability and led to lost revenues, so millions of compensations and recalls. Furthermore, the reputation of the company was tainted in various parts globally, including Australia. For instance, suppliers in Australia filed contract disputes which contended to undermine the company's recovery after the emission scandal. However, the situation in China was quite different because the number of sales continued to increase even as the emission scandal led to poor sales in other countries such as Australia. The management and organizational culture at Volkswagen was the main cause of the emission scandal. Although the top management did not encourage cheating in the organization, their authoritarian management style, which included employee grilling, contributed to scandal. Due to this, engineers were forced to develop a defeat machine to meet the expectation of the management. The other problem arises from the fact that Volkswagen's supply chain is centralized. This is because a centralized supply chain does not give other plants the opportunity to reconsider the effectiveness of various outputs. Finally, conclusion. Cultural differences, including socio-economic factors, are great determinants of the performance of the motor vehicle industry. Difference in perception of safety, performance, and environmental effect of vehicles between Australia and China. Their customers have been the main reason for the varying level of performance, especially after the emission scandal. Furthermore, Volkswagen has several joint ventures in China than in Australia due to the prevailing socio-economic factors. Additionally, corporate culture and strategies also affect the competitiveness within the industry. Therefore, Volkswagen should reconsider its policies and corporate culture to remain competitive. And this is our reference list. Thanks for listening and I hope you enjoyed the video.